So welcome everybody. So today's class is, I've done some drawings. They're not going to win a prize, especially this one, which I'll show you on the back in a minute. I'm just laughing at it. So I'm not going to win the Turner Prize for my human body. So you might be familiar with the yin-yang sign, but I've done it slightly differently. So when you see it, one of them's usually black with a white circle and the other one's white with a black circle, and that just indicates how, well, it represents masculine, feminine energies, the opposites, but within each are an aspect of each other, and that's the same within us. But what I've done here, so what we're going to be doing is going to be using a Tibetan yogas, 2 sequences, each with 5 movements too. So we did this one last week. And we're going to use those, they're very dynamic, so they could be expressed as masculine, although there is an aspect of feminine within them as well. And they're to help unblock the rivers of energy within us, which we call the nadis. And then at the end, we're going to do a little bit of yin, just so that we can, so we've released the physical body here as well as the energetic field. And then we're just going to go in and really sort of release and expand our consciousness. So this is the rivers of energy. Here you go. Okay. You see what, I'm not going to win the Turner Prize. So what I wanted to do is to give you kind of a visual understanding of what we're doing. Whenever we practice yoga, we're affecting the energetic body, which is the first body and the most important, because when the energetic body is well, our physical field is well. So you've got the root chakra. I didn't have a yellow for the solar plexus, so we've got 2 orange, so it's usually depicted as orange and then yellow, green for the heart, Vishuddhi chakra, the throat, and then the 3rd eye, and then you've got the crown. So these are all sort of like, if you imagine you've got a motorway network, and this is the M1 through your body, if you're in the UK. This is the M1, the central column, and it's like, this is where you stop off to get refreshments, the motorway service stations. And sometimes the roads to them are a bit blocked because there's been an accident or something. And what we're going to do is we're going to release the roads that move towards these areas in these sequences, which is what they're designed for. But also remember that these energy fields are not just contained in the physical body, because the physical body is only the vehicle for our true self. And actually, we expand beyond the physical. And when you become more and more attuned to energetic frequencies, you become very aware of that, and you can sense it in everyday life. So yes, that's what we're doing today. Okay. So a bit of a mix of practices. We're going to start standing. So make sure you've got your mat in the same direction as me, so that you can follow me. Okay. So we're going to start with the Luzhong, which is one of the Tibetan practices that was filtered out and mainly developed in, or was taught from Germany. So we'll start with just working with the breath. So the central clearing breath in this practice is really like a martial arts breath. And the exhale comes from, if you find your navel, 3 fingers width. So it's called the junction of the 3 channels. So when you exhale, you activate it with the stomach muscles coming in and up, a bit like a Bhairava breath. So it's inhale, and then out through the mouth with a, it's quite rapid. Inhale. Lovely. So that's the practice. So let's just start the sequence. So take the feet nice and wide. And to start with, I want you to do the first couple of movements with the knees bent, because we're going straight into a forward fold. Bring the hands into the lower back. If the back's fine, then you can work with the legs straight. So we're going to do 7 of each movement. This is a normal breath, so in and out through the nose. Inhale, take the gaze up and back. Exhale, fold. And really make use of the breath. Inhale, so you come all the way up. Wait until you're full, and then fully exhale. Lovely, come back to center. So we've held the body in a specific position which squeezes and stimulates those channels, those rivers of energy. And now we're going to push out the accumulation that we don't need. And imagine that the exhale is going to come up through the head like a whale's blowhole. Inhale. Push it out. Lovely, and release. Feet nice and wide. So the next movement's rather like a warrior one. We're going to turn to the left first. And we take a breath in, we'll count 14. And as you exhale, squeeze. So you bring the opposite elbow. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure you fully exhale on the squeeze. Last one. Good, back to center. Inhale. Clearing out. Lovely. Next one. It is a twist again, but it's smaller, and ideally you keep the legs straight. It doesn't work for everybody. So we start with a narrower stance in terms of the feet, and they're about that wide. I'll show you from the front. Okay. We take a breath in, and then we exhale, twisting again. Inhale, come up, kind of like a rocking motion. Exhale. So we're squeezing different meridians in this movement. Really be mindful of the movement and how it's felt by the whole of the body. Last two. center, clearing. Inhale. Lovely. Cross the wrist. Notice which hand you cross first. Palms face each other, grabs. This is for the heart space. 7 movements. Inhale. Take it up and back. Exhale. So removing the big knot. So it's called in Sanskrit a granthi. The psychic knots that stop us from understanding the ultimate truth. Good, and when you've done 7, cross them the other way. So this is the yin-yang, the feminine, masculine crossover. Inhale. Clearing. Lovely. Hands into the back. So again, ideally it's straight legs, but that doesn't suit everybody's anatomy, so you might need to bend the knees. 7, inhale. Exhale, fold. Clearing, inhaling. Lovely. Now we're going to clear the nod, the main nadis. So you've got Ida on the left, Pingala on the right, and Sushumna, the central channel. And they're simply called left-right central channel in Tibetan yoga. So block the right nostril. And we're going to do 5 breaths into the left, raising the arm. Breathe in. Be aware of the pause. Breathe out. Imagine the exhalations coming from the junction of the 3 channels, and you're really clearing out that side. Switch sides. 5 to the right. central channel clearing. Inhale, arms come out and up. Exhale down through the midline. Focus on the breath at the tip of the nose. See if you can make it even in both nostrils. Notice if there's one nostril that is less dominant. Focus the mind on the less dominant nostril. Become aware of bringing balance into the breath. Last one. Lovely. Now just take a moment, palms facing forwards, eyes closed. Be aware of that image that I showed you of the body with all those different coloured energies. So ultimately everything is light. Everything that exists comes originally from light, and then it becomes more and more dense, and then we find ourselves in this physical vehicle. But our true self, our aspect of ourself that is part of consciousness, is light, and it vibrates at a very high frequency. So we're going to move into what's called the 5 Tibetans, which is probably one of the better known Tibetan yogas. Each practice is done 21 times. I'm only inviting you to do 21. So you might not be able to manage 21, and that's absolutely fine. It's one of those sequences that you really need to build up. So the first part of the sequence is to spin, which can be quite vomiting-inducing, so I'm just warning you. I'm going to start with my back towards you, arms out, palms facing down. So I want you to spot as if you're an Olympic ice skater, and you're going to look at a point in order to hold the focus. So we're going to do up to, but not necessarily complete, 21 spins. 2. You can go slower than me or faster if you're used to this. 7. 12. I'm actually going to slow down a bit. 15. Stop if you need to. 20. Last one. 21. Okay. Whoa. Okay, we're going to do 3. So in between each of these movements, we're going to do 3 big sighs out. So there is a purpose to this. It reverses the aging process. It's very good. Okay, take a deep breath in. And again. And again. Just keep your eyes closed for a moment and just notice any subtle movements of energy. So you might be able to sense it outside of the physical body, and actually what you're sensing is your energetic body, that it's maybe still turning slightly. Or maybe there's a bit of a tingle going on. Notice the palms of the hands particularly. So we have big chakras in the palms of the hands, maybe they're quite active. Lovely. Okay, next one. Come to sitting. Just watch first, I'll give you some alternatives. So again, be cautious. You don't have to do 21 immediately. I do want you to be able to walk tomorrow. So the full movement is breath in, breathe out, raise both legs, lift the head. So we're activating the energy in the core of the body. Inhale to lower. Now you might find that actually for you, you need to do the movement with the knees bent, which reduces the weight by half on the lower back. Or maybe you do a combination of both movements. So I'll count off 21. Just do what you feel are able to. Rest when you need to. So breath in. Exhale. Twenty. 21. Oh. Roll the head from side to side. Take a deep breath in. And again. Lovely, well done. Okay, next one. Come to upright kneeling. So unlike what we would consider modern yoga or asana, just the posture part, the very traditional practices, so these kind of predate religion. These are really old practices that could be anything up to 10,000 years old. And they're just focused on just 5 things that you need to do for the elements, which are earth, water, fire, air, space. So the next movement, hands into the lower back. You can tuck the toes if that feels more comfortable, or that way, whatever you prefer. So it's like a dynamic camel. So the exhale is the chin to the chest, and the inhale is going back. Exhale. 21 or up to, whatever works for you. So make sure you're inhaling when you go back. Lovely, and release. Again, nice deep breath in. Have a sigh out. So just like the previous set of 5 that we did, this breath in between helps to clear the energy that you've shifted and moved around. So the next movement is tabletop. So this can be tricky if you've got issues in the wrists. So if that angle doesn't suit your wrist, because maybe you've got carpal tunnel, then make a fist so that you've got a straight wrist instead, okay? So this one is exhale, inhale. 21 or thereabouts. So you're exhaling to push up. Last one. And again. Notice the effort on the arms and also around the energy of the throat. Nice deep breath in. Open the mouth wide. Sometimes we get a lot of blockage at the throat, at Vishuddhi. Lovely. Okay, so the final one in this sequence. Again, I'm going to give you some options. So the full traditional option is downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards into upward facing dog, which we do a lot in modern yoga. Doesn't always suit everybody's back. So instead of the upward facing dog, you can do cat. You still get the back bend. Okay, or you could do a combination of both. So you could maybe do some dog and then go back into cat, or just cat, your choice. So again, up to 21. So exhaling into down dog, inhaling cat or up dog. Rest if you need to. This is 16. Twenty. 21. Drop down. Let's just stack our hands in fists. So we bring the forehead to the uppermost fist. Take a nice deep breath in. Have a sigh out. Lovely, roll up. So comfortable sitting position, have your brick and blanket handy. I'm actually just going to use it to sit on for now. So if you struggle to sit cross-legged comfortably, then always grab some support. So before we go into the yin section, we're just going to do a couple more from Tibetan style practices, which are the salungs, which are from the Bon tradition of Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche. So I'm going to do the upward moving lung and the heart sequence. So remember, these are strong on the breath, and it's a bit like doing a kriya. So you're combining a physical movement with the breath and a mental focus to release. So we're going to work from the throat, third eye and crown awareness. I'm going to do this movement with the head 5 times one way, 5 times the other way. And then we're going to push out from the junction of the 3 channels up and out. So we're clearing this area of the energetic system. We do it with the breath held in. So let your eyes close. And start by bringing your attention to the throat and becoming aware of your speech. So observing how you speak to yourself. And observing how that may be reflected outwards into relationships and society. That negative self-speak. So we're just going to clear that stagnant energy. Also be aware of any heaviness around the brow space and the crown of the head. So we're going to clear what blocks our ability to express ourselves positively towards ourselves and towards others. So take a breath in. Inhale on top of that breath. Hold the breath in. Turn the head 5 times. And again, other way. And then push the breath out. Notice there may be some tingling, so when you do a lot of energy work and you start to tune in, so it's just like learning a new frequency, you'll feel it. It's at the throat, you'll feel it around the third eye like a tingling, and the top of the head as it's clearing. And again, focus throat, third eye and crown, take a breath in. Inhale on top. Hold the breath. Change. When you breathe back in, feel that sense of expansion. So if it helps, I mean, we all visualize in different ways, but visualization is a really powerful aspect of being human, and it's what helps us connect to our divinity, our sacredness, is when you exhale, imagine that that exhale is really pushing and clearing out all that energy that I showed you at the beginning. And then there's a pause at the top of that exhale. And then just slowly breathe in as if it's coming through the crown of the head. And what you'll start to sense as you tune into the frequency is this expansion. That you become more aware of not just this, the physical vehicle, but the energetic field that is you. Okay, so again, just pause at the end of that exhale. Take a moment to focus the mind inside the physical vehicle so that when the inhale comes, you can feel the expansion. So again, focus on the throat, third eye, crown of the head. Take a breath in. Inhale on top. Hold that breath, perform the movements. Really focus on the inhale. sense of your sense of self with a capital S expanding. Notice all the subtle movements of energy, maybe back of the neck, between the shoulder blades, around the throat, third eye, crown of the head. Just tuning in to those higher frequencies, so we would call them subtle, because they're not loud, they're not obvious. But once you settle and you tune in, actually they're there all the time. We're just learning to tune in with a different sense. Lovely. Now the last movement we're going to do before the yin is the all-pervading lung, or I like to call it the heart lung, because it's focused here at the heart. Remember, this is challenging because there's 5 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those, which this movement, look at it, it comes from the waist to the top of the shoulder. It's not just the shoulder. 5 of those, and then you exhale. So just like all the previous practices, if you can't manage 5 because you're not used to holding your breath for so long, then just do 1, 2, 3, 4 of each movement, whatever works for you. So bring your attention to the center of the chest. I just want you to breathe for a little bit and noticing not just that sort of small dimension of self, which is the front of the chest, but feel the side, the back. Be aware of the arms, which are an expansion and expression of the heart space. Also be aware of the throat. So the throat chakra and the heart chakra have kind of merged now as we ascend as humanity and we expand our awareness. So our throat expresses heart. And I want you to just notice what blocks your ability to connect to the light at the heart space, so you can visualize it as a little flame. And that might just be, it might come to you as I just can't really feel it. And that's fine. So just connect to that feeling of not feeling it. That's the block. Or it might be an image of a big dam. Or it might be a sense of stickiness or heaviness. There might be a colour, there might be a memory. It doesn't matter, because it's your body vehicle that we're clearing. So just whatever comes up for you. And if it's nothing, then connect to the nothing. And we're going to clear. Remember to pause at the end of the exhale so you can really experience the expansion of energy when you breathe in. Take a deep breath in. Breathe in on top. Hold your attention at the heart space and the breath. Perform the movements. Good. Now as you inhale, feel that energy coming in. Not just from the nose as oxygen, but the energy, the prana coming in. Feel that expansion. Maybe you get a sense of energy rotating at the throat. If it's quite intense, open the mouth and just let it release. And again, so try to let the exhale come from out through the nose rather than the mouth, because if you let it come out through the nose, it pushes it further up, whereas the mouth, it's a little bit low down. So if you can push it that way, it's more effective. So focus at the heart again, and hold the focus on the heart and what blocks that area, connection to our true nature, which is a spark of divinity within all of us. Deep breath in. Inhale on top. Hold. really feel the expansion as you breathe in. Notice the subtle flow of energy that can be felt. Well, I feel it, so I'm only expressing how I feel it. It might be different for you, but it's like a vibration of energy, like a fizzing around the throat and the third eye and the crown and between the shoulder blades. If it feels quite dense, waft it. Well, it's technical. Waft it near the throat with your hand. Going to do one more. So I want you to imagine now, so I'm just using our creativity to sort of build the intensity of the exercise, is that the heart space is like the sky. And sometimes it's a little bit clouded. So when you inhale after the exhale pushes the clouds away, and the inhale allows the sun to shine out. So imagine that sort of image. Focus on the heart space, take a deep breath in. Inhale on top. Hold. Good. Now when you inhale, feel the sun coming out from behind the clouds. Lovely. So I'm just going to work into a yin movement. So if you feel like you need to remove the legs into a different position, then just stretch them out. So just going to go into the side of the heart space now a little bit more. So bring one hand out to the side. I don't mind which side you do next, which side you do first. Extend the arm up. Just let it flop. So remember with the yin, it's very different to the dynamic movements we've just done. We're holding it, and the idea is to actually let go as much as possible into the shape. Close your eyes. So it might be that for you started cross-legged and you feel, so I feel that my left leg wants to go out. So I'm just going to stretch it out. Just really using your imagination like a searchlight now, and we're going into the physical vehicle and we're observing where the resistance is, and we're just allowing the breath and our imagination to release it as we exhale. Lovely, slowly come up, let's go the other way. And we'll add in a really simple focus, a mantra, which is in English. And remember, mantra means that which controls the mind. That's the purpose of mantra. So as you breathe in, I just want you to simply say mentally to yourself, I am breathing in. And as you exhale, I am letting go. So that instruction to the subconscious mind, I am letting go, is a permission to just totally release any tension that you find. carefully come up. Now I want you to have your brick and blanket handy, so your bricks are like that and the blanket's on top, and that will eventually be used for the sacrum. So just have it handy because we'll push up and bring it underneath us. So I want you to lie down, so we can do a few movements to release the holding patterns that we have at the front of the body. So to start with, I want you to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees flow out. And your choice of hand movements, so this will depend on what's happening in your shoulders. Either interlace the fingers and let the hands come above the head, which doesn't work for everybody's shoulders. If that's too much, release the hands so you're more of a cactus shape. And if that's still too much, let the hands rest at the heart space on the chest. Now with the eyes closed, again say to yourself, I'm breathing in. I'm letting go. And as you breathe in, scan through the body. Use your imagination like a search torch, like a beam, searching through the body from the top of the head, from the tips of the fingers, through every joint, every muscle, searching out where those holding patterns are. Check the jaw. Be aware of the shoulders and inside the shoulders, around the neck. Let it go. Pay attention to the groin. Notice there may be a sense of holding there. Can you really let go there? Keep bringing the mind back to that silent mantra, using the frequency of that thought. I am breathing in. I am letting go. Three more breaths. Hold the mental focus. Lovely. Now very carefully bring the legs back. This time we're going to take the feet as wide as we can with the knees bent. So for some of you that'll be off the mat. Careful you're not compromising the lower back, hip or knee. And we're going to work with just the left leg first, so I want you to drop it inwards. So the knees coming over to the right and down to the floor. And then, if you can, walk the foot even further out. So you're right on the inner edge of the foot, the sole of the foot's facing out. And just stay here for a few breaths. Just observing the holding pattern. So you might be gripping with the top of the hamstring. Notice if there's a holding there. Relax into the shape. Good, now let's extend the left arm overhead. And then if it still feels comfortable for you, and there's no damage in the left hip or the left knee, and you're not going to compromise, you pick up the right foot and let the ankle rest on the thigh. So you're just using the weight of the right leg to draw down a bit more. Breathe nice and deep, breathing in and letting go. So we're letting go of those patternings, the patterns of behavior that are held in the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. So really letting go. Two more breaths. Lovely, carefully reverse. Make sure the right leg is quite far out. Let the right leg roll in. Shifting the right foot out, letting the sole of the foot face outwards. Extend the right arm overhead. Notice how this feels. So it might feel totally different to the other side because we're very asymmetrical. And then if it feels comfortable, pick up the left foot, use the weight of the leg to draw the right leg further down. Again, notice the holding patterns, especially around the hamstring, the top of the thigh, the glute. Breathing in and letting go. Notice when you let go that you're saying it to the subconscious self, and then maybe a little bit of tension around the jaw as well and the tongue. So totally relax the jaw, let the tongue rest back into the root of the mouth and the tongue itself. Notice if the shoulder's holding tension. Do you need to bend the elbow a little bit more? Just notice those really subtle vibrations where you're holding. Two more breaths. Lovely. When you've done that second breath, carefully come back up. I'm just going to counter pose those two movements because they act as a back bend in the sacrum. So bring the knees up towards you. So this is a forward fold position, and just let the hands hold the shins and switch off as many muscles in the arms as you can, as well as the rest of the body. Feel a sense of letting go through the sacrum into the earth. Lovely, releasing. Now the final yin movement. So often when you're doing a full yin class, you'll hold these positions for a lot longer. We're just kind of going for about 30 seconds to a minute. So you take your prepared one, lift yourself up, and just rest the sacrum on it. So we're not putting them into the lower back, which is the curve. It's the sacrum, those fused vertebrae that form the triangle at the base of the spine. And extend the legs out and wide. So you've got this just a nice little back bend that brings this opening into the front of the thighs. Extend the arms out nice and wide. So if you were looking down on yourself, you'd have a shape like Vitruvian Man. So that's the famous picture by Leonardo da Vinci in a circle. Really extend yourself out so the extremities are being stretched. Good. Now concentrate your attention on the belly, because I want you to release the holding patterns of the solar plexus. So as you breathe to the belly, it pulls the diaphragm down, gently massages the visceral organs, which also hold lots of emotional tension. But it helps to release these holding patterns that we feel very much at the solar plexus. So we feel excitement here. We can also feel fear here. So just letting go of the energy around that area that's stagnated. Deep breath in. This time we're going to use a ha sound as we breathe out. Inhaling. Three more breaths. Last one. Lovely. Now carefully rebend the legs, push yourself up, push the block away and release back down to the floor, and let the feet go wide and the knees rest against each other. So what happens here when we do this movement, so I'll show you from the front. So the feet are really wide and the knees are together. So this is one of the few body positions that actually switch off the psoas muscle properly. So remember, the psoas muscle attaches at the top of the thigh, comes through the pelvis diagonally, and then loops into the 12th thoracic vertebrae. And this particular muscle holds a lot of emotion, and we need to stretch it and totally switch it off to release those emotions. So hands resting on the tummy near the solar plexus. Deep breath in, feel an experience of almost lifting upwards with the breath in, a lightness. Big sigh out and feel that sense of sinking downwards, letting go, being supported by the earth below you. And again, deep breath in. Last one. Lovely. Now just breathing in and out through the nose. And I'm going to ask you to use your imagination again as a higher frequency of awareness. Bring your attention to the center of the chest and imagine a light inside the center of the chest, like a lighthouse. And as you focus on this light, be aware that you are this light. The body vehicle is simply a vehicle with personality that carries the light, which is a particle of infinity. Some people may call it soul, divine energy. Some people might call it God. Whatever you want to call it, it's just a word, but connect to it. And as you connect to it, I want you to notice, with your attention on this light, the effect of the following words upon the body vehicle, the personality, and the experience of the light. I have a body, but I am not just this body. I am the awareness that is aware of the body. I am the awareness that is aware of the body. I have emotions, but I am not just the emotions. I am the awareness that is aware of the emotions. I am the awareness that is aware of the emotions. I have thoughts, but I am not just these thoughts. I am the awareness that is aware of the thoughts. I am the awareness that is aware of the thoughts. I am awareness. I am ever present. And just hold your attention on this light as you breathe in, repeating to yourself mentally, I am awareness. And feel this, sense this, imagine this awareness, this light is shining out for the benefit of all. And that we are not separate. When we believe ourselves to be separate, it's when we start to suffer. So be aware of your connection to everything else.
Actually bring the hands now to touch the center of the chest. So they're placed over the breastbone as if you're holding this light and you can feel the vibrational frequency of it. And then gently bring the knees up towards you. Roll to one side. Come back up to sitting. Hands to the heart space. So when we bring the hands to the heart space in yoga, physically it connects both hemispheres of the brain, but it also is an acknowledgement of other. So yourself in other, this light. And that's what namaste means. It means I honor the light within you. So inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And as you exhale and you become aware of the light inside of yourself, just honor your light towards others too. And namaste. Thank you for joining me.